съемочную площадку Донбасса. Программа рейс. А, да, это
В Москву.
Ленчик просто. Ты смотришь? Чем еще увлекаешься?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Moscow for the European Championships. We're back with IFSC climbing. My name is Matt Groom. I'm psyched out of my mind. I hope you guys are enjoying and have been enjoying the live stream. And we have an absolute treat of bouldering for you guys today. That's our stadium. That picture coming before the snow that arrived last night. It's freezing outside, it's warm in here. The athletes have been preparing all morning for their moment in the spotlight. 20 athletes made it through from the qualifying, 20 women, 20 men. And that gets whittled down this morning before the finals that are taking place this evening. All on the Russian YouTube channel. If you're listening to me, you've managed to find it. Congratulations. If not, send links, tell your friends. Let's make this a bit of a party, because I don't know about you guys, but I have been missing competition climbing. That is our women's semi-finalists. 20 women have made it through. Chloe Collier coming out on top with 4 tops. Holly Thompson-Smith, happy to make it through in 18th position. Let me know in the comments below who you're supporting. Who are you shouting out for today? Drop me a comment. My name is Matt Groom, and you could join in the live chat beneath the video. Here's the men. Alexei Rubstov in fine form with 3 tops. Again, 20 men qualifying. And you can see from that list just how hard those qualifying boulders were. No athlete managing more than 3 tops in a savage round of competing. Nice view of some of our judges here today. Camera angles being provided by the Russians here in Moscow. And we are seeing some stunning shots coming out of this event so far. We look at that start list there. The athletes who qualified last go first. Chloe Collier there, down in 20th. So he gets time to chill out this morning, warm up properly. And that's our stadium. As you can see, due to the corona regulations, everyone is socially distanced. Trying to make this as safe as possible for everyone. Men's starting list, the same thing. Athletes who qualified in first position go last. As we scan down the list of names. Athletes from all over Europe representing here today. That's our commentary box. You might have even caught a glimpse of me as we kick off the first 2 competitors here today. Yuval Shemela on the right-hand side. Elska Bulanova on the left from the Czech Republic. Is anyone else nervous? I always get a bit nervous before these events. Elska pulls on and immediately comes off as Yuval Shemela starts off his competition with a big right heel hook. Physical boulder to start things off for the men. On that overhanging prow, as you can see. 4 men's boulders, 4 women's boulders. Remember, if you want live updates as we go along, you can download the IFSC app or go to the IFSC website. All the results will be sorted out at the very end. It's always tricky to call these things. We've got 20 athletes to go through. It was great to see everybody on the live chat yesterday joining in. And if you're a fan of Emil Abrahamson, a bit of a YouTube star, competing in his first IFSC event yesterday, he is going to be commentating with me in a couple of minutes in the box. So you'll have myself and Emil for this qualification, for this semi-final. 3 minutes 18 on the clock. Yuval Shemela there, such an expressive climber. We were chatting about him yesterday. He is not shy in releasing the odd power screen, that man, and I'm all for it personally. Heading guys, Stuart Little saying he's supporting everyone. There we go. That's the power screen we were chatting about. Takes a full knee to the top, but progression for him. Look at that scream. I don't need to hype this up. The athletes are doing it themselves. 2.5 minutes to go. Plenty of time to see these boulders. Yesterday we saw high drama. Dylan Schwatt topping out a boulder with about a second to go. Nice to see people on live chat. Beyond Paul, cameraman, legend, expert. Eddie Folks, IFSC photographer, hanging out with us. Just a little update on Petra Klingler. We saw her yesterday in some distress on the boulders. She fought through, despite being in obvious discomfort. She has decided that today she will not compete. She's saving herself for later on in the week. I haven't talked to Petra yet. We're all sending her best wishes, of course, and hopefully we'll see her climbing in the next couple of days. Elska there, facing towards our auditorium, matching that volume. Zone just above her on her right-hand side. She's going to turn now, which is going to be tricky. Brings the left foot, nice control from her. Up to the zone. Another power screen from Yuval there as Elska just can't quite manage to tie it together. Hello from all over the world. Hello from Australia. Hello from New Zealand. Crack me a comment down below. Let me know where you're watching this. I was amazed yesterday. We had people from all over the globe joining us. I get the feeling you guys have missed competition climbing. 33 seconds to go. Just about enough time as on the right side of your screen, Yuval pulls up a pure power problem for the men to start things off. Into the zone. Almost managed to stick that barn door. That's it. He's done. What do I mean by barn door? Barn door, imagine a door on a barn swinging open. Imagine if you push it. Imagine that momentum of that door. That's what I'm talking about when I say barn dooring. It's the momentum, the swing of the body that the athlete desperately tries to prevent. Good morning from Germany, good morning from the Czech Republic, good morning from Israel. Big Israel crew in a house on the live stream. Canada, South Africa, Argentina, Russia, Indonesia. Welcome. Alexandra Kaluczka from Poland. Let's see what she can make of this techie women's boulder #1. Remember, if he's psyched a meal, he's going to come and join me in a commentary box in a few minutes. He's just settling in. On the right-hand side of your screen is bouldering legend Martin Stranik. So he goes up to the right hand, matches looking for his zone. You can see him just locking in the left toe hook. Staring around the corner there. I wish you could see around corners in that moment. Can he hold this barn door move? Body swings, he can. Are we going to see our first top on men's 1 here? Has a moment just to shake out, goes out with the right hand. He's now going to go left into the volcano-shaped final hold. Heel match. Nice one, Martin. You have to match that final hold. It's no good just getting to it, tapping it, holding it with one hand, jumping off and celebrating. You've got to match it with both hands, control the movement. And it's up to our judges watching to decide whether there's enough control in that final hold to award them the top. We've had some wonderful shots here all weekend, some fantastic slow motion replays. So if you miss a moment, and it's easy to do, especially when we have lots of athletes out competing, which we will soon. And don't worry, you've got your back. I'm not in control of the camera angles, though. I just want to make that clear. Can you imagine how disastrous that would be if I was? Too many things to think about. Alexandra Kaluczka. Alone now on the stage as Martin Stranik goes in, having topped his boulder. He gets a few minutes extra rest. Good chance to look at how this bouldering works. You can see blue lines on the wall, 3 where her feet are, 1 on the right-hand side where her right hand is. That's the starting position. That's where the athletes have to start in control. Usually in the middle of that boulder. There you can see that example, there's 3 lines, so that's 3 limbs on that one, 1 limb on the other one. The zone is that orange sticky line with zone written on it. You got to touch that, control that, and you get an extra bonus point. So if things are drawn with tops, that's what's decided. And at the top, in that white circle with the blue line, that's the top. That's what you've got to match. That's what you've got to control. Matt Tubby on the live chat saying Russian camera game is tight. You mean like tight or like tight? 1 minute to go. Alexander Kluchka, hands on hips. That classic climber's pose, isn't it? When you don't want to rub the chalk off by putting your actual hands on your hips, so you sort of turn your hands backwards. Has anyone else done that? .44 seconds to go. She's going to have one more attempt at this. There you can see 3 limbs in control, just loses the right foot. She has got time, 33 seconds for another attempt at that. No, shakes her head, she's done with 25 seconds to go. There is our stadium. You can see the 3 bouldering walls are lit up, one on the left, one in the middle, and one on the right-hand side. The speed wall looming above the stadium. That's coming very, very soon. Tuesday is the league qualification, and the speed wall on the left-hand side. That took place, I've got to think about it then, when did it take place? The other day, you can go back and watch that. So now we have Molly Thompson-Smith on women's boulder 1. In the middle, we've got Alex Kazanov of Israel. Sorry, yes, Alex Kazanov of Israel. There's Molly just working out the boulders. Climbers climbing at the same time now. On women's 2, we have Eliska Bolanova, as we can see her there, swinging out. Talking to the route setters today, they consider this to be one of the hardest boulders. We shall see. Yeah, you're not going to stretch that. It is a jump to that crimp that you can see. Taking a nasty fall there. I have a feeling it might be easier to go up with the right hand instead of the left, but time will tell on that. Yesterday we had 2 boulders on that wall. Today we've got 3. Here's that nice wide angle. We can see a ton of climbing as Alex Kazanov eyes the final hold. Trying it statically, just creeping up. You can see him in 2 minds there. He thought about popping, didn't he? Molly Thompson-Smith pulling on. As we see Yuval Shemela walking away, having topped his boulder 2, as we watch a replay. This is the techie one. Direct quote from the route setter. And you can see it's fairly techie as he gets a heel hook above his head. Left foot out, kicking right close to the wall there. Those tiny, tiny little crimps. Left hand back, the match, the control. Molly Thompson-Smith on your left-hand side of your screen. She's competing in everything all week. Let's go taking a sit down there. People are loving the boulders on the live chat. Big moves. Yeah, there are some big moves in this. And we're about to see a big move if we stick with this camera angle. This dyno up to the crimp. Let's see, left or right hand. Gets her feet as high as she can. Almost static that. She's got the reach for it. She now just needs to match that top. So much core tension required for this top. Presses up with the left palm. That's not going to be enough. She needs to be in control. Very impressed with that. Static boost up though. Molly on the bottom of her boulder. As Alex Kazanov again comes to that final move and again loses the left foot. Molly was telling me yesterday that she prefers physical boulders. And this first one is quite techie. She's got 1 minute and 30 seconds to see. And look, that angle, using her chin and nose. I'm loving that. I'm someone who's head jammed on occasion. Not because I want to, because I was scared. So I fully respect the nose jam there. The nose scrub. What do we call it? She's got 1 minute left. She has got time. She knows the beater now. She will be able to crush through this as she hops up with the right hand. Body weight goes backwards. Now, let's see what she can do. Can she find the match this time? She brings her right foot up, swaps left out, palms. That's going to be enough. Fantastic work from her with 41 seconds to go. That is great to see. Her first top of the tournament. You can see there with the full red bar at the bottom. Half bar if she got a zone. Look at that. Palming that, adjusting. Holding, holding, holding. Looks back with a smile. She knows she's done enough. Alex Kazanov now alone on the stage as Molly walks off just out of your screen. I think Alex might be done too. People are saying, is Emil overslept? Nah, he's joining me in a couple of minutes. Just thought I'd get things started with you guys, have a little chat. That is Vanna Piccini just brushing those holds. Because of COVID regulations, as you can see, the athletes have to brush their own holds. Usually we have volunteers brushing the holds for them. Nimrod Marcus there, which I've always thought would be the most stressful job in climbing. Actually being responsible for cleaning someone's holds. Those guys do not get enough respect, but in this tournament, the athletes do it themselves. There's Martin Stranek on the right-hand side starts his techie boulder. Alexander Kluchka. Martin Stranek into those tiny, tiny little crimps. The root set is putting it right up against the change in angle of the wall to make it even harder for the athlete. He uses a right toe hook just to steady himself. Thought about the heel there, and he's going to have to kick that left foot up and just can't quite make it. You often see athletes physically lifting up their own foot to place it on the hold. Three minutes to go. How are you guys doing on the live chat? Good morning, lovely to say hi to you. Anita on the live chat's asking if Molly did the last climb. I don't think she did, no. Just gonna have a look at my IFSC app. Nope, no top for Molly. Good morning, Toby. How's things? Do drop me a message on the live chat, say hello. If you've got any questions, send them my way. If I don't know the answer, which is likely with some things, I will find it out for you. Unless it's a particularly weird question, and then I might just ignore it. Vanna Piccini, 2.5 minutes to go. She presses her way up that boulder. Nimrod Marcus there, as we saw, just taking a little forward with two minutes to go. Alexander Kaluchka goes up with the right hand. Can she find a way to match this hold? Sort of pinching with the left and doing some outrageously high left foot beater there. I'm not sure that's going to be the way. If it is the way, she's going to be upside down. And I kind of want to see that. Someone is watching at 3 a.m. in Toronto. That's some dedication. Henry's watching at 3 a.m. in Wisconsin. How come it's 3 a.m. everywhere? Minute and a half to go. Plenty of time for this to go. Alexandra Kaluchka. Nimrod Rod Marcus now on this physical men's one. That's a great shot. It kind of looks like a jug, that hole, doesn't it, from the wide angle? And you can see there are no jugs. He can't hold the swing as he peels off. Martin Stranik with 52 seconds to go. Can he top out men's boulder number 2? As on the left-hand side, Vanna Pacini. Has she got enough time? She's on close to the zone. She brings the right hand into the crimp. I don't want to excite you, ladies and gentlemen, but Emil has sat down next to me. He's about to join us in the commentary box. We see all 3 athletes on the wall. Right, athlete rotation again. Molly Thompson-Smith on women's boulder 2. And I'm delighted to introduce Emil to the commentary box. Emil, hello mate, how's things?
It's good, Matt. Thank you very much for having me.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. This is the women's starting list. The climbers who qualified in last position go first.
Right, right. And how are we doing so far?
It's been exciting, man. We've seen, so far I've seen a nose scrub, I'm going to call it that, on boulder number 2.
Yeah, yeah.
So the athletes doing everything they can to stay on the wall. Emil, you climbed yesterday. What's the conditions like here in the arena? Is it hot? Is it cold? How is it?
For me, it felt pretty good, actually. I usually hate it when it's too warm during a competition. But this facility really had like, I don't know, the humidity wasn't too high and it just felt, yeah, it felt good, for sure. And I think most competitors would agree, actually. It's if you're complaining about conditions, then, you know, maybe not.
You can't use that as an excuse, right?
Yeah.
Alex Kazanov now nearing the top of boulder number 2. Left hand palming, right hand bringing it, creep in his hands. I mean, we've seen quite a lot of instances this week about controlling that top hold.
Yeah.
Just explain it to us for those who don't understand, because it's not all, you can't just touch that thing and then get the points.
No, well, from what I've heard, it's you have to be in full control when you actually match the hold, and there's sort of like an rule about holding it for 3 seconds. I don't think it's official. It's more just you have to be in control and prove it to the judges. So if we take, for example, number 5 from yesterday in men's qualifications, that one was kind of hard to actually hold in control because you were constantly barn dooring off it. So yeah.
Yeah, we see those moments where the athlete thinks they've controlled it, the judges say differently, and then we have a little debate. Right, so Molly Thompson-Smith on women's number 2 from Great Britain. 3 boulders on every section of wall, which makes for some quite tight climbing. And that is Yuval Shemela, number 69 on screen. Have you heard his screaming?
I have. I'm very impressed by it. I respect it fully. He seems like a guy who tries really freaking hard, and I think that's cool to see.
Yeah, cool, calm, and collective is all very good, but let's have a bit of drama every now and again.
Yeah.
That is Irina Kuzmenko on women's number 1. There's the man we're talking about, Yuval Shemela. Aiming up for the zone on this boulder. M3, according to the route setters, Emil, that was one of the trickier ones. You sat down with the Swedish team this morning before this event started. Mm-hmm. Which are the boulders, which are the dangerous boulders, in your opinion? Which are the ones that are going to cause the athletes the most trouble?
It's for the men's, I think number 3 is going to cause the most trouble. It's kind of a boulder where you have to freestyle. You can't just hop on it and know what you're going to do. But if we compare it to number 1, for example, that we can see on the screen, it's just like you have to be strong enough, you have to pull enough, and then you're probably going to do it. But number 3 is for sure going to be a battle for a lot of the climbers.
Yeah, great insight there for Emil. Emil, if you don't know him, is a bit of a YouTube star, and he competed in his first IFSC event yesterday. He's joining me in the commentary box today as we look at Peter Kurik, as he stares up at the physical men's boulder 1. It's on that overhanging prow that we can see. Shadow air climbing, I like that shot. Yuval Shemela now just giving it a brush. Emil, how hard or how different is it to brush your own holds in a competition?
Well, since this was my first international competition, it's kind of hard to tell how it would feel, you know, when somebody else is brushing. But I've heard that it's, I mean, I think most people actually quite like it, because you can sort of be in full control of what's getting brushed, and it's kind of it's a mental thing, brushing as well. So I think for most climbers, they appreciate it to some extent.
Yeah, no, sure. I agree with what you say about the mental thing. At least you know that you've brushed it, and it's only you making that mistake if it's not good enough. Yuval Shemela just giving it everything as he goes into the zone. Molly Thompson-Smith having a little moment. Yuval Shemela there. This is a replay. He is down from the wall now with 7 seconds to go as he comes out to that zone. Someone on the live stream commenting that Matt and Emil, best breakfast TV ever.
Why, thank you.
I haven't got a coffee though. I've got some hot water and lemon in a plastic glass. So I didn't provide it. That is our stadium. As the athletes just prepare the boulders. On the left, boulders 1 and 2. In the middle, women's 2, men's 3, women's 3, and on the right-hand side, which we haven't got to yet, men's 4 and women's 4. 20 athletes competing here today. That's being whittled down. Only the best go through. As you see Nicholas Colin getting his competition underway. Nicholas was one of the athletes that we were chatting about earlier with this top, no top debate.
Ah, okay.
He was eventually awarded it.
I feel like we're going to hear a lot of power screens this round. A lot of the boulders are quite physical.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Apart from that men's 2 that looks quite techy. That's sort of like a techie physicality, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah, for sure.
At one point, Martin Stranek had his right heel above his head. Nimrod Marcus there. Again, one of those expressive climbers. A big shout with 3.5 minutes to go. Right, 3.5 minutes to go. Martin Stranek on the right-hand side of your screen as we see a replay of Alexandra Kaluchka. The route set told me this morning this is called the Russian problem because of the red and blue.
Oh, nice.
Russian flag, sorry, Russian flag problem.
Inspired.
Yeah. Martin Stranek just chalking up. 2.5 minutes to go, no rush at this stage. Emil, how conscious are you of that clock ticking away? Is it sort of a stressful thing, or do you try to put it to the back of your mind and ignore it?
Personally, it's quite a stress factor. I remember on number 4 yesterday, I finally did the first crux move on it and got to the zone hold and just completely spiraled off because I didn't have enough, or I thought I didn't have enough time. And when I actually came down, I noticed that I had about 6 seconds left, which is usually enough for for 2 moves. So for me, it's definitely a big stress factor.
Yeah, it just relentlessly ticks away, doesn't it?
Yeah, most definitely.
Nicholas Colin in the middle. And on the left-hand side, it's Marketa Yanasova kicking off her competition. 6th female athlete out. As Nicholas Colin sticks a huge swing there. I dubbed him the Hulk yesterday. I'm sticking with it. A beast of an athlete.
Yeah, he's looking very, very strong right now.
Just rocking it. I've seen a few athletes try to do that move statically if you think about popping into it. Do you think it's more of a static movement, or does it need that pop?
I think it's that kind of move that you really have to just execute on. give it your all, and then I don't think it's going to be too troublesome. From the tops we've seen so far, it definitely looks like something where you just go for it and it sticks. But you kind of have to rock on over on the left side, which I think is quite unnatural since both of your hands are on the right side. So your center of gravity is just a little bit too far on to the right. You have to force it over to the left.
Good insights from Emil there as we watch. Vanna Piccini taking a fall with 50 seconds to go. She has a look at the clock. 2 zones to her name so far. No tops. Can she turn that zone into a top? Time will tell. Going dynamically up to that with a sort of double catch there. Not something we're seeing a lot of athletes do.
No, we haven't. I think she's the first one to try it, actually. I do, however, think that it might be better to try and latch on to the first crimp. It just looks like the finishing hold is really, really bad, and you have to get your body weight high up in order to actually make any good use of it.
Nimrod Marcus there topping out on the right-hand side as Alex, as mine went blank there. As Nicholas Colin, he tops out as well. Sorry, Nimrod Marcus tops out. Nicholas Colin was on the right.
1 second to spare. That's good timing.
Right, we go to some replays now as the athletes swap over. That's Nimrod Marcus. Chalking up mid-press. Fingertips on those crimps. Spreads out, left hand back, right hand touch, match control, dismount. There is Nicholas Colin looking back for the confirmation as he comes down from that physical men's boulder #1, getting in just in the nick of time, as Emil said. About 2 seconds to go for him.
On our right-hand side, we're just getting to see boulder #4, which is something I would love to try. It's a pretty massive coordination dyno. It looks difficult.
Yuval Shemela, first one on men's boulder 4. Hopefully get to that in a minute on your screens. Still staying around as Sasha Lehmann, he enters the fray. Missing his teammate Petra Klingler, sadly pulling out of today due to injury.
Oh, really?
Hopefully see her back later on in the week, just kind of resting it for today. So if you're a Petra fan, she won't be competing today. Yale Taub on women's boulder #1. It's all kicking off right now. Me and Emil have got our heads on a swivel as we try to check out all the action and look at the screen in front of us. Molly Thompson-Smith on the Russian flag problem, named that way due to the red and blue colours. She just takes a moment. Irina Kuzmenko looks back. She gets left foot up. She just seemed to stumble there, Emil. A knee hit, perhaps, from her?
I think so. But I definitely think she's going to get the top on that one. She's very, very strong. And it looks quite physical.
It's all about working the beater, isn't it? That first couple of minutes. Because the athletes don't get to see these boulders beforehand.
Exactly.
All on site.
And there's usually a lot of, like, micro beta to each boulder that you sort of have to figure out as you go along. It can be very difficult to see it from the ground. And so once you get into a position, you realize that, for example, on women's #2, that undercling is probably quite hard to tell just how bad it is. And the holds are usually a lot worse than you expect, and, well, a lot worse than you see from the ground.
So we're looking at women's 1. That is Peter Kurik with 2 minutes to go. Just to update you, Molly Thompson-Smith is 1 hold off the top on women's 3. Physical boulder's going to suit her. Meanwhile, tiptoeing across the slab, Zeliska Volinova. There's Molly now.
I saw on Instagram that she wanted some physical boulders for today's round, and, well, looks like she got what she wanted.
She did indeed. She drops the top with 1.5 minutes to go.
So close.
So close. I think it's one of those moments where you think, what do I have to do to finish this boulder off? Meanwhile, Eliska, can she match the top? She can. She looks down for confirmation. That's the slam done. Some relief on her face there with 1 minute and 15 seconds to go.
Very nice. I think she has 2 tops now, right?
Let's have a look. Yeah, 2 tops for her, 2 zones.
I think that's a very good position to be in. The boulders do look very, very difficult today, so.
Yeah, strong showing for her. She qualified for the semi-finals in last place, which is why she came out first, so good to see her get 2 tops, kick off her competition. Sasha Lehmann, 48 seconds to go. What can he do with this physical boulder? Up with the right. He's got to match that hold now. As he hooks his toe in, scrubbing on that orange hold. Up to the zone, can't make it stick.
I think he has to try and move his right foot further out before he actually goes for the jump, because you're going to get a pretty massive swing if you try and dyno from the right foot so far in.
So Emil, as Molly comes through this section, talk me through this from a climber's perspective. Up with the left, what's she got to do for this top?
It's really hard to tell. I think that's kind of what she has to figure out as she goes. Last attempt, I saw her try a bunch of different things and not really figure anything out, so I think she just has to keep on going and trust her strength.
Yeah, wise words there. Trusting your beater. Irina Kuzmenko,
Nice.
replay of her top. She looked like she was struggling early on in that boulder, so nice to see her put it all together. How are you guys back at home? How's things? We had a breakfast shout out yesterday, which I quite enjoyed, so I'm going to do it again. What are you having for breakfast while you're watching our live stream? I was all about the cereal and yogurt this morning, as we see our athlete list. 6 athletes competing so far. Makata Yanaslova, the last athlete out. Petra Klingler, theoretically next out, but she is not competing. Sasha Lehmann. Jörne Kruder, the man, the legend, the myth. Oh, God, I hope he doesn't hear me say that. He's not a myth, but he is a legend, and he's coming out soon.
I'm pretty sure Journey is going to have a very good time on the final boulder. Looks like his type of movement.
Anna Zaina from Russia. Zaikina, I should say. There's Nils Fav from Switzerland. Joining Sasha Lehmann out on the mats, his teammate. You see all the athletes just feeling their way in this first couple of minutes. Wonderful breakfast coming in, by the way. Someone's having salad and Red Bull. Someone's on the crumpets and Marmite. Excellent. Big breath from Nils Fav there. Emil, talk to me about that hold we can see his right foot on. It's a dual textured hold. Just explain to us what dual textured actually means.
So essentially it means that part of the hold is complete crap, and the other part is, well, okay. And that foothold is one of the nastiest ones they have in the competitions, because you do want to get as much friction in as far into the wall as possible on especially footholds in the overhang. But on that foothold, you just have to try and drive everything into that little small nubbin of a foothold, which can be very difficult.
Yeah, you can see the shiny part is the part with no friction. There's a tiny little section with some grip on it. And how slippery is that? I mean, if you were just to put your foot on it, put some pressure, how much pressure do you need to put into your foot to stay on it?
If you're staying on the no friction part, you've got nothing on it, nothing whatsoever. Unless you're barefoot, then you can get a little bit. But on the actual friction part, it's like climbing a very difficult slab, actually. You have to get the same amount of force into it for it to actually, yeah, for you to be able to make any good use of it.
That's Martin Stranik there we saw brushing Emil's dream boulder, the one he wants to try more than anything, men's 4. As are we going to see a top here? We are not.
That was a very close call.
Yeah, it was from Nicholas Colin. Nice replay there of Martin Stranik. So Emil, talk me through this. This is the one you want to have a go at.
Well, long story short, it's just usually I love those kind of moves where you have to figure out perfectly how to move your body with a dynamic movement in between it. And it's kind of, there's not so much thinking that you have to do. You just have to find the perfect swing from the start. And usually you either pull too hard when you're going off the first hold, or you're pulling a little bit too little. And for some reason, my body kind of, it's used to finding that good balance between pulling too hard and too little. Because the thing is, once you get to the second hold, as you can tell, well, you can't tell from the screen right now, but it's quite slopey, which means that you can't really pull on it if you have too much momentum going on. So you have to take it when you have a little bit less swing.
Yeah, we will see more action from men's 4 in a bit. But right now we're on women's 1, men's 1 and men's 2. And there is Alexander Kaluchka. Ah, there he goes. That shows how small that is. Just a pad on that slab as she loses the right foot, takes a fairly nasty looking fall there. Niels Fab checks the clock as he pulls up there. He's got 10 seconds. Can he make it stick? I don't think he's going to have enough time to get this done. That sound, by the way, if you're new to this live stream, many people have been describing it as an aeroplane sound. I thought it was a bit like Laser Quest, but that is to signal the end of the round, the end of the 5 minutes. The athletes swap around. It's dramatic, right?
Yeah, I actually quite like it, though. It's very like, okay, well, we're done now. Let's move on.
It's kind of a sci-fi B-movie sound. Do send us your comments on the live stream. Me and Emil have got it in front of us. Scrolling through your comments now. Was that blood on the hold, someone's asking? I don't know, to be honest. It did look a bit like blood, I know what you mean. It might have also just been marking on the wall. And on Boulder, number 1, we've got Alma Besvater from Germany, as she starts off her competition. That double press, Emil, that's a tricky way to start for women's number 1 over there. We've just seen Alma on it.
I think it's probably quite hard to just understand the balance of it all, since the box is so slanted. It's you don't really, I don't think they know exactly if they want to be on the left side of it or on the right side. Oh, we're trying a face-out start now.
Meanwhile, on our screens, we're watching Irina Kuzmenko on the blue and red Boulder as she swings up. She's aiming for the zone now. Just trying to stick it. There's a little yellow hold on that blue volume. Is that for the thumb of the athlete?
I think so, and I think it's quite crucial to actually get the thumb on it. I think it's going to make a lot of difference on that hold, since it's such a slopey hold. It's very, it's probably quite difficult to hold it on that angle as well.
Yeah, you need to jump and be precise.
Yeah.
Molly Thompson-Smith, meanwhile, pulls onto the slab on the right as we switch back to women's 1 as Alma Besvater. She goes up to the zone. Irina Kuzmenko. This is what me and Emil were discussing just now, this jump. If we stick with it to see it, there's a little yellow hold, which he's going to want to hit. Doesn't get near it that time with 2 minutes 20 to go. Molly Thompson-Smith. She wanted physical problems. This is not a physical problem for her.
But she's looking very solid so far, so maybe she enjoys the slab as well.
Who enjoys a slab?
I think actually most competitive climbers enjoy a slab, but a lot of them are quite terrible at it, so.
Hey, far be it for me to judge.
I mean, I'm the worst, so that's why I can say it.
Right, you've seen me do that. I think I'll fight you for that time. Molly, meanwhile, a great move there. She gets the right foot over.
I think she's got this one.
That zone hold that she's looking at now is truly awful. The route set said specifically, it's awful, and it's.
Yeah, we just saw it earlier. It was a very, very slopey crimp. Like, it looked like nothing.
But that's the top for Molly.
Very nice.
Great job from her. She's got one more to go. Oh, no, that is her final boulder, I'm sorry. Right, with 1 minute 18 seconds to go. That's Irina Kuzmenko climbing in front of her home crowd here in Moscow. Just joining us, welcome. My name's Matt Groom. Emil Ebrahansen is on my right. Very privileged for him to join me in the commentary box. Competed yesterday in the qualifiers as we watch a replay of Yao Taub. She matches it. So much core tension required for that move.
It looks like the finishing match on that boulder seems to be very, very difficult. Hard to find the right position. I've seen bicep finishings, and I've seen people press in it. It's very difficult to figure it out.
Yeah, lots of methods, and that's half the game. He's working out the beat as Sasha Lehmann takes a huge breath, slaps out left to the zone. Meanwhile, we are back with Irina Kuzmenko. She's got 22 seconds left. This jump again, just falling short. I think she's going to call it a day, is she? Alma Vesvata. I bumped into Geva on the way into the arena this morning and asked him if he was ready, and he said he's born ready. Which would have been cheesy if it was from anyone but him, but the look in his eyes, he really was born ready.
I definitely agree.
That's our arena. The delegates from the countries come down into that front section, which is socially distanced. Our commentary box is at the back, in the middle. I'll try to wave, but you won't be... There you go, you can see me. If you look very closely, you can see me waving at the bottom. Hi, Mum, I'm on TV. Right. Nikolai Yaryovits. Starting us off, Elena Kras. Elena Kraskovska. My Russian pronunciation is struggling this morning. It's early, I haven't had enough coffee. She's on boulder number 1. Whereas Nikolai is on boulder number 1 for the men.
I must say, though, I'm very impressed by your pronunciations. They seem very correct, so that's a big plus.
You have no idea how hard I've been working at this, honestly. I've had people from all over the world send me names. Trying to do it properly. Well, thank you for being patient if you're watching at home. Nils Fav on men's 2 as he comes up for his second top. You can see him there into those tiny crimps. He's going to have to palm the left hand. You can see him lining himself up for it. He's got to unlock that left hand, and that's what's tricky. You can see elbows up by his ears. Just off screen, he tried the move. Elena Kraskovska, she calls it a day with 2 minutes, 3 minutes almost to go. I didn't quite see why she's called it. Did she top out?
She topped out. Yeah, she topped the boulder. I think maybe that was the first top on women's 1. I'm not sure. Possibly, I haven't been able to keep track of everything.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to pull up the app now. We don't always have some of the scoring on screen, but we have got the app so we can find out. Yep, first top. Good call, Emil.
Nice.
Very nice, man.
Wait, thank you.
Right. Anna Zakina. Flashing up on our screen here. It is packed. It's hard to keep track of what's going on. So if you're struggling at home as well, make sure you download the app. There are a lot of microphones. A few people commenting that the microphones are loud as we watch a replay there of Nicholas Kolin on men's 3. He's getting close now. This is one of the hardest according to the route setters. And Emil, that's wood we're looking at on that hold, right?
Yeah, well, I mean...
Well,
wood.
some wood anyway.
A lot of wood. Looks like it's dual texture, so the wood is, well, quite frictionless, and then the top part has, well, something for you to pull on anyways.
Yeah, it's great having an athlete in the commentary box who's actually tried some of these boulders. Because yesterday we had the granite holds as well.
Yeah, I think it's nature climbing that the brand is called. They have some really cool holds. It was cool to see it in a competition. I don't think I've seen them so much.
Nikolai there on your screen on men's 1. Nikolai Yariovic, as he attempts, what do we call that, a 360, 180?
Well, yeah, I guess 180 campus move from a very, very, very terrible looking pin.
Niels Fab's going to interrupt you quickly. He tops out. That move off the wagon.
Yeah, but on terrible slopers.
Yeah. Off the wagon, that famous boulder problem that requires a similar kind of move where you turn.
Yeah. You do a 360 from some, well, nasty crimps instead.
I'm all about bringing BMX tricks into climbing, I think. I think 360 should be mandatory. Backflip dismounts, please. Meanwhile, Nicholas Collin, he's got one hand on the top. He brings a heel, he matches. Nice. Yeah, strong from him. 25 seconds to go. That's his second top, so he's doing well. 2 tops, 1 zone.
Very nice. I think number 3 is going to be a little bit of a separator. I don't think so many climbers are gonna top it, actually.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. That is Anna Zakina. On screen, as we watch a replay of Nicholas as he tops out men's 3. Emil's just having a look through your comments. If there's any questions, he's going to try to answer some of them. We are reading your comments, and it is lovely to have you joining us here in Moscow. It's been an amazing couple of days already, and there's so much more to come as we look at the current leaderboard. Elska Belanova leading the way at the moment, followed by Molly Thompson-Smith, Elena Kraskovska, Elena Kraskovska in 3rd place. Remember, this all will change. Many athletes to go. And for the men, Nicholas Collin, we just saw him top out men's number 3, and he's got 2 tops and 1 zone. Alex Kaznov in 2nd place currently. Women's 1, men's 1, and men's 2.
So we're getting some questions about the grades of these boulders, and that's always, I think you mentioned it in the live stream yesterday, that's one of the questions that a lot of setters hate to answer. I think it goes for these boulders as well. It's very, very hard when you have these delicate, sort of very specific movements where every inch sort of makes a massive difference. And if you do everything correctly, most of the boulders never go up to higher than maybe 7C plus. That's usually somewhere around where it peaks.
So people listening to that might think that's almost too easy. I mean, some of these athletes are climbing 8C plus, but what makes it a difficult 7C plus? Is it the on-site aspects?
It's, well, a lot of factors. Pressure is definitely a big one. If we look at boulder number 4, it's a dyno from a jug to a sloper to a little bit of a grip jug. I mean, how do you grade that, honestly?
Good point.
On the other hand, it seems to be the most difficult boulder in the entire semis. So if you compare it to the others, it looks harder.
Irina Kuzmenko now, as she comes up the slab. We saw Molly top that out earlier. Brings the left hand up. She's got to match it with the right. She brings that right foot through. That's a good top for her. Caption that. What was going through her head? Good question from MZ saying, do you need to have your feet on the wall to top the boulder, or is it enough just to have your hands on the last hold? Emil, I'll let you answer that one.
It's enough to just have the final hold in control. That's when you've topped the boulder. So your feet can be anywhere. They can be hanging, they can be on the wall or on hold. It's totally up to the competitor.
Ram Levin there walking off. I didn't catch if he topped it out. Let's have a look. Yep. He made a top. Good start to his competition. He's another athlete that this week he's really just sort of stepped it up into another level.
For sure. He's been looking very, very strong.
Yeah, it's been great to see him. Meanwhile, Afra Huring from Germany begins her semi-final. Into the zone fairly easily. 2 minutes left on the clock. She's got time to work that beater out. As we see a replay of Ram Levin, brother of Geva Levin. I don't know why I rolled the R so much then. Ram. And there's another top. for his brother at the same time. Alma Besvata. As we see a replay. Things are kicking off all over this stadium, and it's great that the Russian broadcasters are showing us the replays of this. She matches, controls, comes down. That's another top, high heel there above his hand. Such a physical start to this competition. Right in that middle of the ball with 50 seconds to go. Yao Tao. Wow, what a screen
That
from
was
her.
a good power screen. I like that.
Yeah, despair for her. She tried to get that toe hook locked in. It wasn't going to happen for her. And I think she's done as she walks off. Meanwhile, Sasha Lehmann, 25 seconds to go. We've seen miracles in the last couple of seconds.
Sure have.
And he's still got time, 18 seconds, but he's looking a bit tired now on our screens as we watch a replay. No, not a replay. Live action here as Afra Huding. She's got 6 seconds to make this work. I'm not sure she's going to have enough time. Let's rotate it, get ready for the sound. There it is. Oh, it's the best bit of the comp at the moment, is that sound?
Yep.
Yeah, very interesting to hear you talk, Emil, about the grades, because it is something that people want to relate these boulders to their own gyms, their own problems. But I think what you said was so important that, I mean, how do you grade some of these things?
I think, for example, Boulder is probably going to get the hardest grade. I'm just guessing purely from my ocular vision here. But I'm thinking men's 1 could be one of the hardest in its grade, but it's also the one that's going to get the most tops, I think. Maybe number 3 as well. Could be a little bit harder. But I think men's number 3 is quite... It's just really, really difficult, it looks like. You have to just freestyle it and hope that you make your way up to the top.
Ayla Karim from Israel. That is Milsfab getting started on what is one of the hardest men's boulders. We haven't seen a lot of M4 yet. Currently, Nicholas Collin is on that. There's Milsfab, and in the background we get Elena Krasovska. Elena Krasovska, she misses the crimp. Right about halfway through, me and Emil are just cracking open the fizzy mineral water back here on the commentary box. Are we going to see a top on men's 1? Really big physical move there from Sergei Skaradumov. 2 minutes done as he opens his account on his semi-finals. Sergei Skaradumov, 1 top for him. See a replay of that move there. In front of his home crowd. Lots of Russian support, as you'd expect, here in Moscow. For this European Championships. He taps the hole, comes down. Good job from him. And we see another top there of that women's 2. As we progress down this list of athletes, it seems like that boulder is becoming more and more doable. Elena Krasovska there, she walks off.
Oh, so she's got 2 tops now. She, I think she's the only one to top the first one as well. So I think she's in a very good spot for finals.
Yeah, things are looking good for her. Strong showing yesterday. Almost turns all the way back just to prove that she's topped it. Right, women's boulder 3. Set up to look a bit like a Russian flag. Anna Zaykina. She's got 1 minute and 40 seconds, enough time for her as we have a look at men's four, which we haven't seen a huge amount of, but that's Nicholas Collin on that.
I've been keeping my eye on that one a little bit, and it seems like nobody's gotten the zone on it. Anyways, that's when I've been looking.
Yeah, you can just see it there in the background. It's sort of a coordination dyno. So it's not just a dyno and you have to stick it, you have to dyno, you have to get it, and you have to push again to the next hole. Comp-styly.
Comp-styly. Very 2020 climbing.
Yeah. So I think 2020 climbing is has a different connotation nowadays. 2020 climbing would be no climbing.
Oh, wow. It's a fair point. It's a fair point.
Yeah. I don't remember what gyms look like. That is Marketa Yanasova on the slab. She's got a minute to do it. Got one zone so far in this competition. She kind of needs a top, really, on this final boulder. As you can see her then heel hooking that hold. Haven't seen that style before. Left hand up. Can she match, though? Because the problem is she's had to release that heel hold foot swap. Sad, not the foot. Emil, you could have laughed Riley on that foot swap. How hard is it to jump your feet like that?
Well, you have to be quite courageous to actually try it. I mean, when you're on a heel hook and you're sticking to the final hold, to just actually commit to switching your foot like that, it's not something everyone would do, I think.
Good question coming through about the route setters. Can the route setters climb their own boulders? They are pretty good route setters. I mean, we've got high quality route setters. A lot of them used to be athletes. They compete at a very high level. They are professionals at what they do. Usually, though, occasionally there are boulders they set where they can say, look, we can do sections of this, but putting it all together, that requires a different level.
Yep, that's pretty much how it goes. I think for a lot of the hardest boulders, most route setters might not be able to do the entire thing. So they usually do it in sections, and they know that moves are going to be doable for the competitors. So for a route setter in a competition, it's a lot more about understanding how the competitors will do, more so than how they themselves would do on the boulders.
That is our leaderboard so far as we return back to the competition. My name is Matt Groom. We've got Emil Eberhansen in the commentary box with us. Competed yesterday, didn't quite make it through to the semi-finals. His first competition, as we see a big, big press move there for Victoria Meshkova. She hits a zone. Boulder 1 hasn't been topped a lot so far. We haven't seen many tops coming through. You can see why. Horrible holds. Left hand up, she peels. I don't know why I said horrible holds. It's not like there's any good holds going on here, is there? Yes, Emil is commentating. Tumas on the live chat. We are watching a live chat as Simon Lorenzi, he kicks off that physical men's Boulder 1. Emil, once you've got your legs swinging like that, once you're that high up on the swing as we just saw, how hard is it to pull it back?
It very much depends. I think since the hold is, it looks quite good, the pinch, so I think he could have stuck it if he would have just gotten the swing slightly differently.
Ram Levin there just topping out men's number 1.
Number 2.
Number 2, so thank God you're here. I need some sanity in this commentary box. A lot of people psyched on the live chat for Jerne Kruder coming out, as we see a replay of that top. My shoulders cry when I see that move. That is such a shouldery move, isn't it? Pressing with that left hand.
But the thing is, a lot of these climbers have insanely flexible shoulders, so it kind of evens itself out. You usually have to have very flexible joints to do competition climbing.
After Huring there, with the high right foot to be able to stick that hold. We haven't seen a lot of that beta. One athlete trying it early on. That was a replay of her top. In front of me, Germany's Alva Bestvater. She's close to topping out, takes a fall as we watch a replay there of Victoria Meshkova. I think we're about to see another top here. This is a replay. Yeah, it is going to be a top. Let's see how she did it. Left hand up. Right hand match. Made it look very simple on what is a very tricky boulder. 1 minute 47 seconds to go. There's a great atmosphere in this arena right now, Emil, right? I mean, I think a lot of athletes have been missing competition climbing.
For sure.
You've been backstage with the guys. What is the general sort of feeling from the athletes at this event?
Well, they seem pretty psyched from what I can tell. I think I've heard a lot of, it's really good to be back on the competition scene again from a lot of the climbers. So I think the stoke is high, even though the gym isn't full of an audience, but it's still, yeah, still very stoked just to be here.
Yeah, it's something I wondered whether the lack of audience would make a difference to sort of the atmosphere, but for me it hasn't yet. Because there's enough competitors here, because there's the coaches, the pressure is still there, and it feels like a proper, well, it is a proper competition, but it does still have that tension.
For sure it does.
Alma Besvarta, she approaches women's 3. You have 11 on your right-hand side as he makes the very difficult jump on men's 3. He's pulling straight back on for another attempt. Alma Besvarta. She sticks that pinch move. Thumb on the yellow hold. Great effort from Alma here.
It seems like that top is very, very difficult. I think the closest we've seen on it was Molly, right? A while back. Who was touching the final hold.
Right, 1 second to go. I will stop banging on about that sound effect, but it does make me laugh every single time as the athletes rotate. That's our arena. That's where the competition is taking place all this week. And if you've been missing these live streams, where have you been, frankly? If you've got a job, if you're at school, that is not an excuse. Turn it on in the background. Chia Dorfal from Germany, and Great Britain's Will Bosey in the middle there. Will Bosey been training incredibly hard. I don't know if you saw it, Emil, but he taught me how to speed climb about a year ago. I was not good. Speed climbing something you've done a lot of, or sticking to the bouldering?
I've never tried speed climbing, actually, but I'm thinking I'm going to make a trip quite soon and practice it for a week just to see how fast I can get.
There's YouTube gold there somewhere. Women's number 2 with a tricky little start. It takes a while to get used to. As we flip over to Elena Kraskowska. She gets started. Not many flashes going down at the moment.
For sure not.
Interesting there from the German athlete on the left-hand side. Facing towards the auditorium. We're about to see a top now, I think, with that high right foot. That was Ayla Karim. 2 minutes gone. That's a quick send of boulder number 2.
Very nice.
Sergei Skarodumov, he walks off. Seeing a replay here. That shaking of the leg we see there, Emil, on the replay, that's not fear, is it? It's just
your muscles being very, very, very tense, I would say. Or it's my guess, anyways.
Yeah, the athletes having to put so much weight through their feet, so much tension. Had a glimpse of Will Bosey there as he has a look at the boulder. Athletes brushing their own holds, of course, as Anna Zaikina.
On our left, Will Bosey is just campusing through boulder number 1.
He is, I hadn't spotted that. Good spot, yeah. Who needs feet anyway? But you do need feet on this problem. Anna Zaikina, as she's on the slab, it's all about the feet on that one. We'll keep you updated on Will. Emil's watching him. Anna, fully leaned over there. Face plant potential. She chalks up. That zone hold is awful. Really, really bad slopey crimp. Right hand up to that side pulley crimp. Almost like she tried to chalk up there in that moment.
I think so.
Emil, why do athletes sometimes carry that chalk bag up, and why do they leave it on the ground sometimes? What's all that about?
I think when you're on a slab, you're most likely going to get a little bit of time to chalk up, and, well, it just makes sense to. It's actually just a massive personal preference for a lot of climbers, I think. For me, it usually feels a little bit in the way for some reason. I don't feel quite as light. It's like that extra 5% to let it go.
Yeah, sometimes it's psychological, isn't it? I do it all the time when I climb. I'm just like, if I'm scared, if I'm unsure, I'm like, okay, I'll chalk up now, then I feel better.
Yeah.
Hello, Epic TV, saying hello. Saying hello to Emil as well. Hey from Chamonix.
Well, hi there, Epic TV.
Right, back to that slab. That is Anna Zakina. She brings that left hand in. She's got to work out a way of standing up here. She's not going to be able to bring the right in unless she upgrades that foot. And the problem is she's standing on the side of that hole, taps it, no control though. That's not going to be enough as the buzzer goes. As we watch some replays, that's men's 4, you can see. Niels jumping as 2 athletes fall at the same time. So close there from Anna. That's Will Bosey as a replay as he pops up with the right hand. Just can't keep it together. Big hand slap for him. He would have been looking for a stronger start than that.
I think so. He's a very, very strong climber, especially a sport climber. But he's been doing very good at, well at bouldering as well.
Someone's asking, was that a Matt Groom knee? Listen, I use my knee because it's allowed, all right? It's absolutely fine. So far, we've been chatting about my knee use and my head jamming. That's our leaderboard at the moment. Nicholas Kolin leading the way with 2 tops and 1 zone. Sergei Skaladumov second with 2 tops and 1 zone. And as we come down that list, remember you can keep updated with all the action on the IFSC app. Emil's reading your comments. Any questions you've got for him, do send it in as we check out Hannah Mule. She takes a deep, deep breath on women's 1. Sergei, as he pulls on to men's Boulder 1 as well. Sergei Luchensky, let's see what he can do. Right foot on that dual textured hold. As he pops out right, that's the swing we've seen all the athletes do. Meanwhile, Simon Lorenzi. Oh, look at that face. He's creeping that right hand in as he presses the left to the hold. Reassesses a little bit here. He's got 3 minutes, he's got time.
Yeah, he's got a lot of time.
Oh. What's that moment like, Emil? You know, you get so close, you're literally centimeters away and then you take a pop. How do you sort of, he's got 2.5 minutes, well, 3 minutes to go. How do you reset yourself?
Well, first off, you just have to drop everything after each attempt. I've been talking to Frederick a lot about this, and his primary mindset in a competition is to just, if it doesn't go your way, just accept it and move on, because it doesn't matter what happened on the previous boulders, because the same thing could have happened for the rest of the climbers. So the best thing is to just keep on going.
Yeah, you got to put it behind you, haven't you, and move through.
Yeah.
So many people on the live stream. Wonderful to watch you all, to have you all watching. Victoria, she's out as we see a replay of women's number 2. So many different methods to do this. She goes for the high right foot heel jam.
That's just nuts. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, both you and I have seen a lot of climbing through our lives, but when you see a move like that, it kind of makes you feel like a kid again, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Women's final is tonight. Men and women have their semi-final going on at the same time. And then tonight it's time for the finals. So set a reminder. You can find this stream on the Russian YouTube channel, Russian climbing YouTube channel. Same with the finals. As we watch Afra Huring. Alma Besvata on the slab. Alma's such a strong climber, very fluid in her movements. She chalks up as an athlete jumps in and out of screen. Right, left hand up. Look at the effort on her face now. She's got to match it. She's got a minute left. She's going to get that top.
Very nice.
Meanwhile, big shout out for Sergei Luchetsky as he tops out. He's one to watch during this competition. Remember, the further down this list of athletes get, the higher they qualified in the qualifiers. Athletes coming first during this live stream, they qualified last. Sergei with one top. And let's watch a replay of him biting his lip as he goes into that volcano hold with the left hand. Right, let's have another poll. I think it's about time. Which do you guys at home think is the hardest boulder? You've seen them all now. Which is the hardest men's boulder? Which is the hardest women's boulder? Got 4 to choose from. Comment below. W1, M1, if you think it's that, as we watch a replay of Alma Besvata. Which is the hardest boulder that you've seen today? Cheers for pronunciation tips. As we're watching Ekaterina there on women's one. 4 minutes to go. We're deep into this semi-final now. As Will Bosey on the right hand of your screen starts the techie men's 2. Meanwhile, Jerne Kruder, welcome to the stage, my man. As he just casually hangs around. Surely one of the favourites for this boulder competition, Jerne, as he finds that dual textured right hold. How's he going to manage to swing? Takes a fairly big fall there. Jerne started off his competition with the speed. Will Bosey now. Is he going to tech his way through? Just a foot pop and a big fall, almost taking out Jerne. As we see women's 4, that slab. That slab is crying out for a knee, surely. I mean, why are they? They're like 2 knees on that slab, rock up. Right, Emil, I've got a question for you. Let's just briefly chat about shoes. How important is it for the athletes to choose the right shoe? Because a lot of bouldering shoes are very soft, some are stiffer. Do you tend just to pick one shoe for the whole competition, or do you bring a few with you when you come out?
I personally brought out 3 pairs. One that's very, 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 very good on like just boxes and pure smearing. One that's kind of a middle ground that you can use on pretty much anything. And it's like, it doesn't excel at anything, but it's okay at everything. And then one shoe that's perfect for an overhang. And I think a lot of climbers do the same thing. So they'll have maybe 2, potentially 3 pairs with them.
Lucia Dorfel topping out women's 2. As over on men's 4, we've got a top.
Oh, we got a top on men's 4?
Yeah, we got a top on men's 4. Missed it on a camera angle. We're currently on Will and Jerne. I'm sure we'll get a replay of that in a second. Nikolai Yariovic topping out men's forwards. Jerne, we didn't catch that. I think that was a top for him.
A lot of things going on right now.
Yeah, it's all go, isn't it? My head is on a swivel. Right, here's Boulder 4. Nikolai.
Very, very nice. I think he's even the first one to get to the zone.
Yeah, I think you might be right there. Nikolai, look at that move. 2 hands in, huge swing out left. There's the match and the control. Nikolai climbing in front of his home crowd, of course. As we're about to see another top. That was Sergei Skaradumov. So he gets it done with a minute remaining. Gets the okay from the judge. Russian athletes looking strong today.
For sure.
Aila Karim. Emil, that left hand she's got there, that looks almost flat. How much compression does it require to hold on to those things?
I'd assume it's a lot. I think the holes they're probably quite okay, but I think the overhang on that is maybe 55, 60 degrees or so, maybe even more, which makes it naturally very, very hard to do each move.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. Sometimes from that front-on camera angle, you can't quite tell how overhanging a wall is, but yeah, that's on the most overhanging section. Let's watch a replay of that top. Oh.
Struggling to get the foot on, but he gets it there.
Yeah, Sergei sort of bicycling in the air there. Yeah. Jerne Kruder. We missed this. Let's see how he topped out. Hey, no problem for Jerne.
Very solid.
He's even using the wrong bit of that black hole for that heel. A lot of athletes have been doing the lower section, the half moon.
Right.
He went right on top of it. Well, that's your leaderboard at the moment. Alma Besvata leading the way with 2 tops, 2 zones. Eska Bolinova. Elena Kraskovia in 3rd place. That wheelchair might change. We haven't finished yet. Sergei Skaradumov, he's leading the way. Skolin in 2nd place. Strong showing from him. So 2 Russians in the top 3. So Emil, a lot of our athletes now have come away, they've climbed their 4 boulders. What's the next process? What are they doing backstage now to prepare for the finals?
It's a good question. I think everyone has their own little ritual, honestly. I think a lot of it is just about sort of trying to relax, get into the mindset that it's not over yet, and you've done around. Maybe it was good, maybe it was bad. Time to move forward.
I always wonder about the eating schedule of athletes at that point.
Yeah.
You've got to refuel, obviously, but you don't want to be going to that finals with sort of a roast dinner in your stomach, you know. Fast and light, that's the way forward. As we watch. Oh. Close to a top there from Sergei. Sergei Luchetsky there. He's got 3 minutes to go. It should be enough time. Edvards Gruvitz. Saw a post from Eddie Folks this morning on the circuit saying that Edvards there could be the future of climbing. Tall, strong young man. I'll be very watching him progress through this competition. 2.5 minutes to go. As we watch Hanamul. Afra Huring on your screen on the slab as she teeters off backwards. Grabs her brush. We had a big bang then. I think it's because the MC just dropped his mic. He did drop his mic. Victoria Meshkova now. Can she unlock the top of that as we do 2 athletes falling at the same time? Simul falling.
He had good commitment on that burn. I think he's got potential to do number 3.
Yeah, that's Simon Lorenzi. We turn our attention back to the slab and Afra Huring. She rocks over, catches herself. Now you've got to get the right foot out, which she finds. Takes a moment to compose herself, wipes her hand on her shorts there, not carrying a chalk bag up. We know that zone hold is bad, but she's making it look good as she gets the right crimpy side pull. Palming on that middle hold. Now she's got to get her feet up, which she does. Up with the left hand. Are we going to see another top? We are. Great performance from Afra there.
So off camera, we just saw on boulder number 1, well, the climber just skipped the zone hold entirely and went up straight for the pinch. So it was quite impressive. I hope we get another attempt in on camera.
Men's boulder 1,
yeah.
talking about?
He skipped the zone hold completely.
Yeah, so that is Edvard Gruvitz, as I was saying. He's up and coming. Emil's going to keep an eye on him as we look at women's 3. Victoria Meshkova, she drops the top. Not going to happen for her, I don't think, with 21 seconds to go. Meanwhile, Edvards Gruvitz, we see a replay there. Emil, you were keeping an eye on him. How was he looking through that run?
He looked very, very strong. He skipped the zone hold again, and it looked like a very solid beta. He cruised up to the penultimate hold.
It's okay to skip that zone, of course. Top it out. Will Bosi back in action in the middle of your screens. Staszek Geho joins the competition. She came through for the qualifying in 3rd place. She's 3rd last out. And I've got to say, Staszek looking incredibly strong this weekend. She was good in speed. We expect her to be good in bouldering. She arrived with her dad a couple of days ago. And I just wanted to shout out all the athletes who are actually getting here at all. It's been tricky with COVID. Fantastic to see everyone competing. Vadim Timonov in the middle there. Yekaterina Kiprianova on women's number 2. Emil, we're at the business end of this competition now. Some athletes we're expecting to see make it through into the finals. How interesting is it seeing the different styles of climbing between these guys who are coming out last, we know they qualified first, and the guys who are at the beginning, perhaps slightly less experienced sometimes?
I mean, I gotta say I'm very impressed by everyone who's been up on the wall so far. It doesn't look like it's a massive difference so far. They all look very strong and all have potential to get to finals. But Dim is on the wall right now is one who I think for sure could make it to the finals.
Yannick Kruder never shy about expressing his emotion as he falls off near the top of that one. Oh no, he took tops near the top of that one, I think. Let's see it again. I thought he'd taken a fall, I just caught it.
I think they counted it though.
Yeah, let's see, because he seemed, he shouted like, they have counted it, he shouted like he was annoyed. I only caught it outside of my eye.
That's solid.
Yeah, he's in there, isn't he?
Interesting.
Nearly taken out Vadim Timonov at the same time as he came down. Meanwhile, again, that high foot, that jam. Not sure that's necessarily what the route setters intended, but it's giving us a great spectacle as she puffs her cheeks out there. Meanwhile, Aida Karim on the slab from Israel. Strong Israeli team here as she bumps that left. There's nothing to bump onto. What's she bumping? Anyway, right hand through. I don't think that's going to be control for her. Emil's watching Vadim Timonov as he spins down. How was that run from Vadim?
I mean, we'll see. I think he's gonna do this boulder. He's extremely strong. One of the strongest climbers I've ever met. And this is a physical boulder, so I think he's got very high potential of doing it.
Yeah, Vadim known for his outdoor climbing as much as his indoor climbing.
For sure. multiple 8Cs.
I was about to say, there's some videos up online. We're seeing a lot of athletes training outdoors now, almost as much as indoors.
Yeah.
Do you think that does give them a bit of an edge sometimes?
Maybe. I mean, I think it depends on how you're oriented as a climber. Because when I go outdoors, it's a pretty massive training day for me. So I get a lot more fit and a lot stronger if I climb more outdoors. And I can imagine that it's the same for a lot of other climbers. But then you have some who just maybe don't enjoy it so much. And then you're not going to get quite the same gains.
Yeah, it's all about those gains with a Z.
Yeah.
Stasha on the zone now. That left hand is bad, but she makes it stick. Just trying to find some more friction. Into that volume counting loose again as Vadim unleashes that beast power you were talking about, Emil.
I think he's just got to give it his all. Ow.
Well, I don't want to put pressure on you, but you called that he'd do this boulder. He's got 50 seconds.
Under pressure.
Men's 4 there. A dynamic, jumpy, physical bowler as we watch a replay of Ayla Karim. Lovely shots there. You can see how small those holds are. Real precision required. It's an interesting boulder, that, because you go from the slab where you'd want a softer shoe into a section where you really want an edging shoe on those small holds.
Yeah. It was the same on men's 2 yesterday in the qualifiers. We had to choose between like slightly stiffer shoes so you can get more friction on the finer footholds, or a softer one.
Sorry to interrupt you. Aya Karim there. She tops out. I think I said it was a replay. It wasn't a replay. 2 tops for her. Yeah, it's always a decision, isn't it? And I guess it's one of those things that, I mean, you can change during a round. That's allowed.
For sure, for sure. It just takes a little bit of time. But, I mean, if you're resting, it's better than just sitting and staring at the wall.
I think I'll bring out all my shoes in a big bag, dump them down. You can see there, very little to hold on to. She controls, matches, bangs the wall, jumps down. It's the end of her competition for today. There's your leaderboard. Alma Bestvata in the lead. Afra Huing, second. Two German teammates up there. Elska Bolanova in third place. And the men, Sergei Skaradumov, he's leading the way. Nicholas Collin in second. Nikolai Yarivar. I tried to say that name really quickly there. Elska Anskova now from the Czech Republic. She presses into that hold on this techie women's one. On the right-hand side of the screen, you can see Edvards. Edvards Ruvitz as he sits on his legs, having a look up. Anze Pahak. Just having a look at that boulder from all angles. Back on the slab, we're seeing quite a lot of tops on this slab. Seems to be perhaps one of the easier boulders as Victoria goes up.
But it seems like that finishing match is quite the challenge for a lot of the competitors.
3 tops for her, 1 zone. That's going to put her high up the leaderboard. That is Sergei Luchensky. We see him on the ultra-tricky men's 3. Emil's just having a look at some of your questions. Hello, if you're shouting us out as we watch. Making it look really quite easy. All right, let's talk about the slow motion spin. Is that showboating?
I think it's just being very, very physically fit and, you know, trying to be as steady as possible.
Yeah, wrong graphic there.
That was...
Honestly, that was Sergei. That's Victoria Meshkova. Yeah, I love a slow motion spin at the top. It's great. Almost as much as I like the one arm pull up to sort of arm shake to the crowd.
Yeah.
It's like, I've just done a boulder and I'm doing a one armer and a lock off.
But I mean, a little bit of showboating is always welcomed.
Absolutely, I think there should be style points. I'm deadly serious. We should have a style judge. Oh, I hope the IFSC aren't listening to this.
Go ahead.
People watching us at work. That's the top for Anze. Emil, did you have a lot of support back at home? I mean, it went absolutely mental on the live chat when you turned up yesterday. Did you get a lot of messages from people?
I got a couple of messages, for sure. I mean, I forgot to tell parts of my family that I was here, so...
Really?
Yeah. I can be a little bit bad about communicating something sometimes, but still got a lot of love.
Please tell me you told your mum you were competing.
I did not. Or actually, I did, but just before it, like maybe 30 minutes before I was going out. I was checking in on how she was doing, and then, well, I realized I'd forgotten how to, you know, talk to people.
Oh, Emil, you're going to have to buy us some flowers. That's Ed Butts. No tops for him so far, but 2 zones. He's going to need to get some tops under his belt as he progresses through this round. Hanamul. He's got 34 seconds. It might be enough time. Big compression Boulder problem, this. Pops out to that. Big blue volume. You can see deciding not to use the thumb, and I think that might have been a bit of a mistake there.
I think so too. She did look very solid on it though, so I think we're going to see some good attempts there.
Yeah, not sure she's got enough time. 10 seconds to go,
Never
though.
mind.
They're done.
My bad.
Wait for the sound, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Oh, there it is. Loving the sound. A lot of people on the live chat loving Magnus Midtbo. Remember, if you've got a question for myself or Emil, you can send it. Chloe Collier from Belgium. She is the #1 qualifier from the qualifying round, highest ranked athlete. She joined me in the commentary box yesterday, so if you want to hear a little chat from her, go back to the qualifying. Lovely to speak to her. Last time I saw her was at Quiff years ago. Haven't seen her in ages. Alexei Rubtsov. Again, the #1 qualifier.
I'm also just campusing there. That's good.
Yeah, who needs feet when you're that strong? Right foot pressing into that dual text hold as Chloe Collier pulls off the ground. Come on, Alexei, let's see a flash. Well, I shouldn't have said that, should I? Chloe, let's see a flash. Of course, flashes count higher up the leaderboard for multiple attempts for a boulder if they have to separate it. But as all the boulders aren't being topped at the moment, might not come down to that. Flashes are always better for the athlete's scorecard. Chloe using serious shoulder strength there. Try to stick that left. Stasha. This is a replay. She's not on stage anymore. Stasha Geho. As she goes up with the right hand, making that move look so easy. How's she going to match it? Right foot, left foot. Matches it easy, keeps her feet low. I was there when Stasha blew her knee out in studio block, so I'm quite happy to see her not putting her heel above her head for that move.
Just so you all know, we just saw Vadim Timonov at the top hold. He was trying to match it, but was, well, not really figuring out the exact position. But he was just about to match it before.
On men's two?
On men's two, yeah.
Yeah, so with 2.5 minutes to go. Sorry, I just kicked my own microphone. 2.5 minutes to go. You reckon he might pull it together for that one? Now he's worked out that beater?
I do think so, yeah.
Lucia Dorfel. Seeing a replay of her. Again, that left hand through, creeping up. There's always a slight pause at this moment. Right hand matches. A lovely smile from her. That's got to feel good.
Just pure joy. It's good to see.
It is good to see, isn't it? Yeah. Alexei Rubtsov using that enormous brush to give that hold a proper scrub. Due to COVID regulations, athletes are brushing their own holds. And it is a different kind of competition for sure. There's a lot more rules in place. As Will Bosey goes flying through the air on men's number 4. Jarne Kruder giving it the beans as he goes up with the right hand, gives it a shout, tops out. Can you read his emotion there? Yep, that'll describe it.
Again, pure joy.
Yeah. 3 tops for Jarne. He's looking for a clean sweep here as he goes back to rest. Vadim Timonov, you watched him do it. Did he just try to punch the wall?
Oh, he's stepping off?
He's gone. He started a fight with the wall, and he's gone. Let's watch a replay as Jarne here. So much pure strength required for this. Right hand up, left hand. Jarne is a photographer's dream. Will Bosey just having a sort of a shrug there as he looks at it. He's still on the wall as we flick to him now. This coordination jump, he just doesn't seem to have that momentum carrying him through the problem.
Yeah, I think you really have to pull yourself in as much as you possibly can once you actually get to the hold, which is going to be hard if you, well, as I mentioned earlier, if you have too much swing, you can't really get that momentum that you need to generate back towards the wall. Because you're pretty much going away from it, and then you have to.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, isn't it? There's his teammates, Molly. Dave Barron's watching on. Meanwhile, Yekaterina Kiprianova. 3 seconds to go. I think that's it for her. There's your leaderboard. Stasha has only just started competing. That's why she's down in 9th. We're expecting to see her rise up the leaderboard. Same with Yekaterina.
Но нельзя говорить, конечно же, кто ее залез в итоге.
Six athletes progressing through to the finals later on tonight. 6 men, 6 women. There's Edvard Gruvitz on your right-hand side. Meanwhile, Liska Adamskova on women's 2. Keep an eye on women's 2 if it flicks up. A variety of different ways to match the top of that boulder. She pops up with the right hand. Let's see her method. Cruising it so far, you got to say. Ah, she's going high first. Easy.
Yeah, she made that look like very, very easy boulder.
Her face is how I'd like to feel when I climb, if that makes sense. That sort of chill. In a reality, I'm shaking, kicking the wall, but cool and calm and collected from her.
Very nice.
Just see a replay of that. Eliska Adamskova making it look really quite easy. Walk in the park for her. Three minutes, 20 seconds to go. It's Hannah Muhl on the slab. A lot of athletes taking the same method as her, just pausing for a moment on that hold, chalk up. And then you've got to start this perilous journey across the slab. Any moment those feet could pop. You can see her there looking down, willing them to stay put. Palm down, here's this tricky foot swap, there it is. Hannah Muhl looking for a top, she really needs one at this point. Up she goes. She's looking, shaky, foot swap, foot on the zone hold. There's the match. Yeah, I think she made that almost quite difficult for herself. I haven't seen many athletes pressing into that zone hold.
Me neither, but I mean, it looked pretty good though. It looked like a good beta.
Yeah, I think so too. And if I remember actually this morning, that is what the route centers were expecting, is a press on that foot.
Yeah, okay. I gotta say, Matt, I'm very impressed by your commentating. Could we get some love in the comments for Matt?
Thanks, man. After that 9-hour marathon or whatever it is yesterday, I just can't believe I've got a voice still. But it was a lot of fun. We streamed the whole of the qualifying yesterday.
Yeah.
All of the speed practice as well. Emil, you weren't speed practicing or qualifying.
Well, I mean, I've never tried the speed route, so I don't think I would do too well on it.
Anze Pahak there, topping it out. Maybe we should start a petition going for Emil to try the speed climbing.
I've actually been thinking about it though, because I think my body would be quite well suited for speed climbing, so it'd be fun to try it sometime and just... Oh, that was close.
Yeah, that's men's fall, that physical men's fall. Cheers for the live stream comments.
That's good.
Send me some love.
Give him some more love. Come on, people.
Thank you very much, everyone watching back home. Yeah, my name's Matt. This is my first main IFSC event, and I'm joined by Emil Abrahamsen, who did his first IFSC competition yesterday. There's men's fall. So physical. I love how the camera panned down there just as he fell off. We are watching Sergei Luchetsky, his final climb of the day. I love the shot within a shot on screen there, looking at an iPad. Every now and again, the cameramen get really artsy. We had a reflections shot yesterday.
For sure. I think they're creative. It's fun.
Yeah, I like the chalk slow-mos as well.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of good shots in here. Oh, nice.
Emil, I'll let you take this one. You go for it.
Oh, I don't even know what to say. This is going to be a battle at the top, I think, because there is, from this point on, you have to do a very big coordination dyno to the last 2 holds, but they are good. Nice.
Yeah, Sergei tops it out in style there. Let's see what his score is.
Very, very nice. 3 tops and 1 zone. That definitely gets him to the finals, I think.
Yeah, I think so. That should be enough. Everything went a bit quiet there in our earphones, didn't it? Hopefully you can hear us back home. Remember, guys, we've got a question. Anything you want to find out about comp climbing? This is the bouldering round. Let us know if you're new to climbing as well. Is anyone watching? Is this their first competition? And is there anything you want to know about comp climbing? It's a complicated world full of strange rules. Did we see that top out? Emil, I wanted to ask you, actually, with these COVID regulations that have come in, I know this is your first IFSC event, so you're not sure how it's worked, but there are more measures in place, aren't there, just to sort of safeguard everyone?
Most certainly. Yeah, I felt very safe, actually, I have to admit. It's been, it's been good. They've done everything by the books, so to speak. Social distancing and all that jazz.
Yeah, and we've all been checked for COVID before we came over here. Chloe Coulier is in the center of your screen there, pulling on to men's 2. Stasha Geho brushing women's 3. Let's see how they get on. And Vadim Timonov on the right-hand side. There's Chloe Coulier, so strong as she pauses to chalk up before this little jump. 3 minutes 50 to go. Expecting her to probably get that one. We're seeing a lot of women top it out. Bouldering Bobat join us on the YouTube stream. It's happening again. Yekaterina Kiprianova, she's on the slab now. This right hand. I feel like I've learned this sequence absolutely by heart as the camera pans down to show how bad that hold is. Watch out for this foot stop coming up if she manages to get there, if she gets the right crimp. Here comes the foot swap. Left palm down. There it is.
Smooth.
That hold she's going for, the purple thing, that's called a volume. She needs to match it with both hands, which she does. Flicks her head back. Emil, you've done a bit of route setting in your time. When do you use, and why do you use a volume? What's special about that kind of a hold?
Do you mean a box? Because we have different names in Sweden.
Ah, okay, so volume, yeah, like a box.
Yeah. Usually it's to extend the wall. That's the main reason for using a volume. In competitions, it's just that the friction on them it's usually quite good. So you can make things look really, really hard. And you can also force the climbers to really have to figure out where to grab it in the perfect spot, since they're quite big as well.
Yeah, Alexei Rubtsov there topping out. A replay of topping it out. Yeah, I think that's interesting what you said about extending the wall, because it just adds another foot or whatever to the wall, and you can really sort of make it even more 3D on
Exactly,
that wall.
you get an extra dimension to it. Yeah.
Right, Stasha Gerho shakes her hands out. She's got 2 minutes, just under 2 minutes to go. Vadim Timonov on her right as Jerne Kruder tops out that Boulder number 4.
Jerne Cruiser.
Yeah. Emil, that is a wonderfully bad joke. I love it. Hopefully we'll see a replay of that. We just saw the top 4 tops for Jerne. Let's see a replay. This is this coordination move. As you can see, jumps, flicks, catches, and hand swaps all in the same motion.
I gotta say, I was so sure he would do that Boulder. He's a legend when it comes to this sort of coordination style.
Yeah, you called it very early on, and he proved you right. Easy work for Jerne. He will progress into the finals. There's Chloe Collier. I think she's, according to that screen, she's topped it. She seemed just to have a little confirmation from the route setter. Here it is, the replay of that. Oh, wow.
Oh, my, that was a interesting way to go.
Yeah, it really was. So she kind of went up with the right hand, went into the left. I keep calling that a double clutch. Am I right? Is that called a double clutch? I don't even know. Yeah, when you
well, I guess the double clutch is more when you hold the same hold.
Ah, okay.
I mean, I guess you could call it there as well, because it's, I think their idea is for it to be the same hold a little bit. It looks very, you know, intertwined.
Yeah, it's in the same area. Yeah. Let me know in the comments. Can I call it a double clutch? Who knows? Stasha, women's number 2. We haven't seen many tops of this at all. She's got 22 seconds to make this happen. Yeah, I think she knew that wasn't going to go that time. Right, we're nearing the end of our competition here. 12:50 here in Russia. Time has flown, actually.
It really has.
It's gone fast, isn't it? It's almost lunchtime. A few people saying Jerne is looking for his Olympic place. I actually chatted to him about that. I asked him if the Olympic ticket was on his mind. He claims it isn't. I don't believe him. But we shall see. That, of course, that Olympic ticket, one for the men, one for the women, being given away at the end of the week as we look at the scores now. Edvard Gruvitz on the right-hand side. We can just see him as we look at our leaderboard. Jerne Kruder, as expected. 4 tops, 4 zones.
In just 9 attempts.
Just 9 attempts. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, that is miles above anyone else at the moment.
Yep.
Okay, very difficult question here. I might have sandbagged you, but trying that as hard as he did. So he topped out 4 times. Do you think he's put in a lot of effort to do that? Or is he just simply cruising at this stage?
I'm sure he put in a lot of effort for it. I think the more relaxed you are on the wall, though, the easier it can get sometimes. For example, on the first boulder yesterday, I was pulling as hard as I possibly could, and everything just gets quite stiff. So you just get tired. You don't actually accomplish anything. So competition climbing is a lot about being a little bit more relaxed and securing what you're doing.
Yeah, that is a fascinating insight, that tensioning up thing. I hadn't actually thought about that, because obviously, I mean, we know it with over-gripping, we say that all the time, but yeah, full body tension. Edvard's there, just taking a breather. He's got 3 minutes, 26 seconds to go, plenty of time. He has a little look over at the clock.
And just as an example, if this was a regular gym session, I'm sure pretty much every single competitor would do each boulder in, well, say an hour or 2 with ease, probably.
Yeah, it's that on-site game which makes it harder, but Edvards is making progress on that. Can he finish it off? Oh, comes back down, has a little rethink, swaps his hands over. This time going out with the left with a big press. I did ask the route setters whether it's possible to dodge that zone hold, just go straight through. They reckoned it wasn't. You can see, though, he did think about that for a second.
He seems like a creative climber.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to describe it, actually, yeah. Arms at the limit of their endurance here as he's going to pop out left, matches. Oh. I don't know if you caught that on the microphones. There was a general ooh from everyone watching there. That is a great top from him.
Yeah, he was the first climber to not do the like catching both holds and just going for the finishing one, and it looked solid.
Yeah, let's have a replay of that.
Very nice.
Jerne there immediately flicked his hands, but this is the final move Emil was talking about. Yeah, he matches it rather than bringing the right hand into that middle hold.
Yep.
Great to see him finishing off strong. On his screen now, Eliska Adamskova. She starts up with 1 minute 50 seconds to go. Toe hook to get herself steady. She uses the red volume, thinks better of it. It is a jump up to that blue. Watch for the pinch with the thumb on the yellow hold. Every athlete I've seen who tries to four-finger that hold seems to drop it. It's only when you bring the pinch in.
It looks like that yellow little nubbin is quite crucial to actually latch on.
I'm so pleased you used the word nubbin as well. I thought it was only me. Anze Bahak there on the right-hand side of the screen on M3. Final two men's boulders, very physical. Starts off techie, gets physical. As you can see here, big dyno to start with. 360 dismount, 10 out of 10. Congratulations.
I've touched that once.
Yeah, it's very good, very good. Let's hold up scorecards. Eliska Adamskova, she's having a great comp so far. There's that pinch I was talking about, bringing that left hand, and she still drops it, but it looks a little better. She's got 38 seconds, immediately gets back on. I suppose the advantage of something where the crux is quite low down and quite physical means you can have multiple attempts.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Seems like there are two cruxes as well. This first move that gets you to the zone, and then the final move, final to second final.
Head in her hands there. She's frustrated with herself. 17 seconds, she's not going to have enough time. Anze Bahak, what can he do? Oh, I wouldn't want to be near either of them backstage. Otherwise they're going to start throwing stuff. Hello, everyone in the comments. Lovely to see you joining us. I don't think I've ever seen so much comments on a semi-finals. Yesterday, we had the qualifying, which we streamed as well. So if you've been missing comp climbing, go back and watch that. 4 hours of climbing for the men, 4 hours of climbing-ish, maybe just under for the women. Speed before that. Chloe Collier in action, and Alexei Rubtsov. Again, Emil, Alexei's a climber that, in my head, he's more of an outdoor climber. And we seem to have seen that in recent years. But right now, qualifying for this, he's on form.
I mean, I think the big thing is he is a freak of nature. He's very, 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 very strong. And that'll do him good in a competition, of course. Like, outdoor climbing is, of course, quite different from what we see indoors nowadays. But it's also still the same. You're pulling between holds, and you're going up a vertical or overhanging surface. So they're quite intertwined, I would say.
Yeah, definitely interchangeable skills. Stasia Gieho on the slab. Stasia's got some techie tricks. She's probably known to be a bit more of a physical climber, but the way she's dancing across that purple slab, she's got the skills to pay the bills. That's the zone. Takes a moment to chalk up before going to it. It is a bad hold. Looks better from a distance than it is close up. Check out these foot swaps if she gets this far, because there's techie climbing as the camera pans down to show us that. She's on the side pull. Let's see this foot swap now. She needs to get the left where the right is, and there's, of course, not enough room to match it. She's got one top so far. Can she make it two? Twiddle of the fingers with 3 minutes 11 to go. Stasia taking a fall. She's got a lot of time. Emil, Adam Ondra not competing this weekend. Do you know where he's at right now?
I have, well, actually, he's at Perfectamundo, isn't he? That's, yeah, that'll be fun to see if he does it. That'll be the second repeat, right? Or first repeat, I mean.
Is it? I didn't know that. Yeah, I don't know if it is. Oh, gosh. Let us know in the live chat. Yeah, Adam's on Perfectamundo in Spain. And we are missing a few athletes that we normally expect to see at these events.
Yep, indeed we are. But I think part of it is, I mean, Adam's qualified for the Olympics already, so he has no actual reason to be here, since the biggest thing for a lot of these competitors is the spot in the combined finals for the for an Olympic spot.
Yeah, exactly. And with the tricky COVID travel restrictions and all the rest, some athletes just deciding not to come. But don't despair, because we have a host of top athletes, and two of them are on screen there. Chloe Collier from Belgium. qualify for the semi-final in first place. Stasha now, she got almost to the end of this slab. And again, we were talking earlier about the physical ones with the... Oh, sorry, go on.
I just have to say, Vadim tried to... I hope we see this on camera soon. He tried to go from the starting hold to the foothold on the far right side.
And he walks off, actually,
And
at
he
the same
walks
time.
off, yeah.
So just to... So what Emil's saying is he, instead of going up for the jump, he went down, so horizontal.
Horizontal. It was nuts.
Hopefully see a replay of that as Stasha gets to the business end of this boulder. Right hand on that side pull. Here comes the foot swap. Stasha wearing two types of shoes there, I think. Yeah, two types of shoes. Obviously feeling like she needs different shoes. The left shoe slightly flatter, slightly stiffer than the right. There she is. She's got 58 seconds as that buzzer goes. Should be a top for her. It is.
Very nice.
Oh, just in the nick of time. Oh, hang on. We have a moment now. She's claiming she controlled it. Judges are saying that she did. Yep.
Yeah.
She was immediately there. Yeah. I think because she controlled it and then her foot popped, but she'd been on it long enough.
Yeah, I think so too.
I look like I thought, you know, when footballers like a second the ball goes out, they're like, no. Chloe Coulier, two tops for her.
Well, it seems like I was thoroughly off on Perfectamundo. It's third repeat and fourth ascent of Perfectamundo. Sorry, guys.
Cheers, YouTubers. Thanks for letting us know. I think we're seeing Chloe here. Are we about to see a top? I didn't catch it. She's got the heel hook locked in. We are from Chloe Coulier. So good to see that boulder finally go down. She's fairly happy about it as well. Replay of Stasha's top. My name's Matt Groom. Emil Abrahamson is joining me. Having a lot of fun with you guys today. And remember, after this, the action doesn't stop. In a couple of hours, we've got the finals. As this bouldering singles event accumulates in the finals. So a few people asking about the scoring on the IFSC app, and it is very complicated, I do appreciate it. Basically, if it has a T, that's a top. If it has a Z, that's a zone. That's the bonus hold that you can see on screen. And then, so if you get T4, for example, that's top 4 attempts.
Yeah.
So the reason we're hesitating here is I don't want to give you the wrong information. It is a bit confusing on the app. And also, if you are on the app, make sure you regularly refresh it or it doesn't update itself. So yeah, so T3. 3 attempts to the top of that. Z is the zone, and how many attempts, the number is how many attempts it took to get to that.
There's a question if Stasa got the top, and indeed she did.
Meanwhile on screen, Eliska Adamskova. She nears the top of this slab as well. She's done the tricky foot swap. Sticks in another foot swap. She's looking, I think, to perhaps press that left foot into... No, she's not. She stays low, but drops it. Emil, it looks like her centre of balance was just all off on that final move.
Yeah, they put the foothold just slightly to the left, so you can't just stand on your feet. You have to perfectly find the balance, it seems. And that's why we see a lot of people sort of dropping off at the very last second there.
Yeah, I think she either needed to kick that left foot onto the zone hold or just find another way through it.
Yeah.
All the attention in the arena now moves to the right-hand side. Women's 4, men's 4. The last few athletes to compete. What a move there. Ante Pahak has done, throughout this competition, he's done some amazing dismounts off the boulders. We're about to see a replay of that. Yeah, that was spectacular.
That was good. That was very good. Looked like he needed to be slightly lower for it to actually stick.
Yeah, you can see he sort of committed to it and then sort of had to push away, but I think he would have ended up slamming himself into it.
It looks like you have to commit your right foot, not your right hand so much. So you're going for the right foot on the big volume instead of going with the right hand on the crimp. Because you're probably going to get the crimp if you just land the foot right away. That's how I read it anyways.
Yeah, no, great insight there from Emil. So you think once that right foot landed, then the crimp should become fairly standard if you're in the right position.
Exactly.
Eliska Adamskova now, as she tries to top this out with 1 minute and 20 seconds to go. Pressing down with the left foot. Eliska, we've seen her sort of get more and more frustrated throughout this competition. Psychologically, it must be difficult as an athlete if you had a few bowed rounds to put it behind you and then crack on.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what you have to do, especially during a marathon like this one, where we have, I think the competitors are climbing maybe 7 out of 8 days or so. That's quite a bit of climbing you have to do. And then you're going max effort every single round. You're going to get quite tired. And each mistake you make is going to punish you in the coming rounds.
Yeah, it's hard not to spiral, I would imagine. I say that, I've never done an IFSC event. You're the expert on that one. Right, Ekaterina, Eliska Adamskova. She comes up to that final big volume, left hand up. Again, falling off that move. Very emotional, as you can see, really not having a round she would have wanted out of that. Qualified in second place for this semi-final. She almost doesn't want to leave the stage. Doesn't, in two minds about whether to have another go, walk off. Frustrating times, but good to see all the athletes. I mean, they are giving it absolutely everything out there.
For sure.
The finals are. It's taking place this evening. Hard to tell you an exact time because we're on Moscow time here, but if you go onto the Russian YouTube channel, you can set a notification for the finals. That was an on-the-fence answer there, isn't it? I tried to answer this properly, and I started going through time zones yesterday and realised how ridiculous that was. I was like, if you're in America, it's the time zone. No. Sort it out yourselves. Give it a Google. But yeah, go onto the Russian YouTube channel, and it's all up there. Alexei Rubtsov, he's looking to finish strongly now. These are our two final athletes. This is the last boulders of the competition. Chloe Quillier on the left, Alexei Rubtsov of Russia on the right. Chloe from Belgium. And Emil, this was your boulder right from the beginning. You were like, I want to have a go at that.
Yeah, there's a part of me that just wants to run up after the competition is done and just try it a couple of times just to know how it feels.
Emil, you know your fans would absolutely love that. You might get kicked out of the stadium, but they'd love it. I'll gram it for you, it'd be great. Chloe Quillier now, as she gets herself established on the slab, using the heel hook just to stand up. Moves into a toe.
Ooh. Alexei just stuffed the first move.
Yeah, we've seen a few athletes come down at this point, shake out, compose themselves.
I think he's going to try and skip the zone hold, or it looks like that's what he's thinking anyways.
Yeah, I think a few athletes have tried that. I don't think it's really possible as he goes up to the zone instead with that right hand. He's thinking about it again, though. He's trying now a left foot.
That is just optimistic.
It is optimistic. I asked the route setters about it. I said, can you skip it? And he was like, no, absolutely not possible. But
he was very, very close.
He was very close. Chloe Quillier now looking to match that hold. She uses the zone, tops it out. Good effort from her, having just topped that physical women's 3. 3 tops, 1 zone for Chloe. That is definitely going to be enough for the finals tonight. 2 minutes, 20 seconds left of this competition. Last chance to get in any questions on the live stream. Thank you, Emil, for joining me here today. It's been so fascinating having your insight.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
It has been fun, hasn't it?
It's been a hoot.
Hope you have fun at home as well. We watch a replay of Chloe. Alexei Rubtsov all alone on the big stage now. Can he put something magical together in the last 2 minutes of this competition? Needs to land the feet first.
I think it's like you land them simultaneously. Maybe the hand can go first, but I think you have to really, really aim for getting the foot in. So if you do that, then I think you're somewhat home free.
Come on, Alexi.
Yeah.
Everyone in the stadium shouting from now. The athletes have gathered down to watch him. So close. He's been throwing himself at this wall for a while now. Came close with a different kind of beta, and I think we might see a replay of that attempt. He gets it, he swings, he goes out, he crimps, and that was the time where he did it. This is a replay. He hasn't got the boulder yet. He's still out there with a minute to go. Eyes closed. Moment of focus for Alexi. It could come down to this boulder. Scores to be finally confirmed soon. 48 seconds to go. Thanks to everyone back at home for watching. It's been a wonderful semi-finals, and we have 30 seconds of it finishing here. I think Alexi might be done here.
I'm hoping we can see one more attempt, because he's closer than he thinks.
26 seconds as the MC in the arena spurs him on. No. Now he's done. Oh, no, he's going again. Fair play, Alexi. Go on, mate.
Come on, man. No.
Why not, eh? Why not give it a crack?
Yeah.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Emil, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me. You deserve some lunch, so I'll let you go now. Thank you so much, mate.
And thank you, Matt. You've been, you've been great. It's been fun doing this with you.
Awesome, dude. I'll talk to you later as we look at the final results. Victoria Meshkova topping out the leaderboard, followed by Chloe Collier, Stachigel, Lucia Dorfel, Alma Bestvata, Alfra Huing, Eliska, and Alfra Huing. She should be the last athlete through. Top 6 go through. This will be 100% confirmed later. Meanwhile, for the men, sorry, not for the men. It's just giving a rundown of the women results. The female results there. All of this will be in the IFSC later on, and you can check back in for the finals later this evening. There's the men. Jerne Kruda leading the way with a storming 4 tops, followed by Sergei Ujetsky. He got 3 tops, 1 zone. Sergei Skaradumov, he's in 3rd with 3 tops. Nicholas Kolin, 2 tops, 1 zone. Fantastic competition, exciting boulders from the route setters. 20 athletes giving it absolutely everything here in the stadium in Moscow. My name is Matt Groom. Thank you, Emil, for joining us for the European Champs, and I will see you guys later this evening.
совершенно точно вы можете смотреть и на русском, и на английском, кому как удобней. Прекрасная трансляция, крупные планы, повторы, замедленные повторы. В общем, всем расскажите, пусть они смотрят, делают репосты, делятся эмоциями и помогают подпитывать нашего любимого вида спорта. В общем, всех ждем на финала. Неважно, онлайн или офлайн.
Они будут спиной в трудность, они сейчас по Boulder.